Notorious Islamist preacher Anjem Choudary has been found guilty of directing a terrorist organisation and encouraging support for it through online meetings. Let's get the latest now with our GB News national reporter Charlie Peters outside News Scotland Yard. Charlie Peters, finally Anjem Choudary has been served some justice. Tell us more.
Well, Martin, disrupting al-Muhajirun and its radicalising effects has been a key objective of Britain's counter-terrorism community for many decades. The group was founded in the 90s by an Islamist called Omar Bakri Mohammed, and he had run the organisation from Britain until it was proscribed in 2010. At that point, he left the country, he went to Lebanon and was imprisoned in 2014. It was from that period that the prosecution from the Crown Prosecution Service said that Anjem Choudary, that notorious Islamist preacher, had taken over in a sort of caretaker role while Omar Bakri Mohammed was in prison. They struggled to prove this for many years. Anjem Choudary has been a trained lawyer and he's always been careful to err on the right side of the law in his perspective and avoid prosecution. That came to an end in 2016 where he was jailed for 2 years for supporting the Islamic State, the terror group that was rampaging through Iraq and Syria at the time. He was released in 2018, but his licence conditions continued until 2021. After those conditions ended, he then started to give lectures, online lectures, often on encrypted platforms, to another group called the Islamic Thinkers Society. This group, based in North America, the prosecution said was, in any ways, and any other way of understanding it, ALM North America. ITS and ALM, as they said, were one and the same. And in order to prove this, to demonstrate that Anjem Choudary was not only a member of a terrorist organisation, not only encouraging support for a terrorist organisation, but directing al-Muhajirun, they achieved this through links, undercover officers with the New York Police Department and the Canadian Mounted Police, because they infiltrated the Islamic Thinkers Society and managed to develop a network of connections with one key person in particular, Khaled Hussein, who's also been found guilty today, a Canadian national, of being a member of a proscribed terrorist organisation, that is al-Muhajirun, via the Islamic Thinkers Society. Now, Khaled Hussein thought he was speaking to a fellow ally, someone who thought like him, who was a member of the ITS and who might support the wider ideology, when he admitted in voice recordings that were played out in court in Woolwich, where he said that the Islamic Thinkers Society was a branch of al-Muhajirun. That was a core part of the prosecution's case. Now, Dominic Murphy, the Met's counter-terrorism command, said that this decision was a significant moment for British counter-terrorism.
We know that Anjem Choudhary's had involvement with individuals that have committed terrorist attacks here in the UK in the past, but also travelled overseas to join ISIS. So actually disrupting Anjem Choudary and of course his group al-Muhajirun, a proscribed organisation here under the Terrorism Act in the UK, will help us to manage public safety. But of course, you know, we need to keep a watchful eye on others that are involved in radicalisation. So our work won't stop here, but this is nonetheless a significant milestone.
OK, Charlie Peters, Anjem Choudary once called himself the #1 radicaliser in Britain. That was a badge of honour for me, a medallion on my chest. Well, that's a medallion he'll be able to wear in prison. He's sentenced a week today. Charlie Peters, thanks for joining us.